guys, it's been a while. I am doing this Welt Pocket in a jacket, and I decided that I will show you the process I do to make this pocket. So right now my pocket is attached to my jacket with pins. So the first thing you need to do is draw a line where you want your pocket to be, so that will be on your pattern, and you need to make sure that that line lines up with the center of your pocket itself. So if you can see, I have a rectangle drawn in black, and in the middle I have a chalk line in yellow, and that yellow chalk line is what's lined up with the line on my jacket piece itself. So what I am going to do is stitch around the rectangle, making sure to reinforce my corners. So obviously I'm not going out here where you see those lines. I'm going to be doing this and reinforcing my corners all the way around. So once I finish stitch that, I will come back and show that to you. And I really try to use a very tight stitch, a very short stitch. So I'm at 2.5 on my machine, and when I'm cutting, as you would see, I try to use a really sharp scissors. Also make sure and add interfacing to your pocket bag where you're sewing this rectangular part that makes your welts. This jacket has princess seams, so I have to go a little bit past the princess seam with this pocket. Make sure and reinforce your corners, because in my opinion that's very, very important. But not too much, because you don't want it to be bulky. It will give you trouble when you're turning. So let me show it to you. Now I have sewn my pocket bag from here to there. My next step is to cut along this yellow line, and I should probably mark it so that you can see. I'm not cutting the yellow line all the way to the end. I'm cutting the yellow line to about here, and then I'm gonna angle to this corner and angle down to that corner. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, pockets. This is how the back looks. I just wanted you to see exactly how it looks in the back. You see that rectangle? Okay, so now I'm going to cut the pockets. I should probably go to the table so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, at the table, and I have cut to here. I think I'm gonna stop there, and now I'm gonna angle to this corner and angle to that corner. So you see I got a little peak there. You're gonna need that later. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Get as close to the corner as you can without cutting your thread, without cutting your stitch. Okay, now you need to turn it on the inside. And this is where you start forming your, I don't know what you call it, the welts. So this piece that you just turned in is what's going to actually make the welt. And so now you need to fold it like this. Make sure it's nice and even. So you need to do it on the bottom, and you also need to do the same thing on the top here. Once I do that, I make sure and baste it, because if I don't baste it, it does not come out good. So I'm going to baste it and come back and show you how it looks. Okay, so remember we turned the pocket lining on the inside, and then we formed our welts. I call it welts. I don't know if that's the proper name. So I basted it, because if I don't baste, I would never get it right. So this is it all basted. And if I could okay, this is the back. Let me put it on. This is how it's going to look on that side. And this is how it looks on this side. Okay, so I formed the pockets, and as you can see, there's the welt. I just basted, it's just basted. So this is the top and this is the bottom. And this is how the back looks. Once you finish building all this, you'll put another piece on top of this to actually make the pocket. But I have one that, the other side of it, that's already basted together, because I always do this and baste it closed, and then I go work on my corners. So once you get this part done, the top welt and the bottom welt, you need to baste it close like I did on this one. Just a nice little whip stitch together. And then the next step is to go under here. And remember that little peak we formed when we were cutting the pocket? You need to go, and all you gotta do is stitch over it right there. Make sure not to catch your actual fabric, but you wanna go as close on top the stitching as you can. Right there, like literally there, without catching your fabric. And you do that on both sides, and you also do it under here. You want to go in there and stitch on the stitching, and you also want to do it on this side. So you're basically stitching around the rectangle, just on the inside of your jacket. So this side, you're stitching there, and there's a stitch there, you're stitching there, along there, you're stitching along the little triangle, you're going on the bottom and doing the same thing, and on the other triangle. That's it. And at that point, you're done putting your pocket together. And then you'll take your pocket bag and put it here. Okay, I am back. I have sewn all around on the inside, the underside. I have sewn. I just leave the basting. Well, I didn't leave it. I took it out, ironed it, and then I put another basting stitch back to keep it closed like this. I do not iron when it's basted together because it forms waves in the fabric, and it just looks, it wouldn't look nice and straight. It will be all wavy. So now the bag, I have sewn the bag, the back part in, which was this piece. I laid it on top here and I stitched it around. So I joined it at the top here like this, and then I just stitch. I am gonna cut this off because I don't like where they say to join it. I joined it on top here, and the reason why I did that is because on this side I'm going to do a stitch on top here so that the pocket does gape open. If I don't do this stitch, it will start to gape, and I don't like that look. So I'm going to do a top stitch just on the top of the pocket through all the layers. So that's why I pulled this piece up a bit to meet here, and that's why it's longer there, but it really doesn't matter to me because I won't be really using this pocket for anything. It's more going to be a just for style. So that's how I do a Welt Pocket. I hope it helps you, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.